Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching UAP Truth 33. I'm John. I'm your host. What if I told you? What if I told you that there's a document, government document, that admits to not only studying and interacting with UFOs, doing this on a repeated basis for over 50 plus years, interacting with UFOs, numerous cases, descriptions of all the different UAPs and UFOs that they've recorded, that they've seen, different shapes, size, dimensions, and all of that is in a government document. Well, today, I'm going to show you that document. And also, not only that, but what if I told you that there's multiple government officials, military, government, inside and outside, former and present, that testified before Congress about not only UFOs and UAPs, but non-human biologics, bodies. Today, I'm going to show you that footage. Here we go. So, for those of you that don't know, this is the official Immaculate Constellation document. This document here, dude, the crazy thing is, I just read it today. It's been released for a long time, but I really just got into it today. I didn't realize how detailed this is. It's a incredible, crazy, scary document. The things that they've known for so long. So let's get into it. So we're just going to skim through the introduction just so you guys get to know what the acronyms are. But the introduction starts, this document is the result of a multi-year internal investigation into the subjects of unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin. That's TUO, technologies of unknown origin. So later on in the document, when I say TUO, you'll know what that is. Non-human intelligence, you guys know what that is, NHI. This investigation was undertaken in response to urgent and credible threats to the public good and safety of the United States of America, and provided to Congress through the UAP whistleblower mechanism established by the FY23 National Defense Authorization Act and the FY23 National Intelligence Authorization Act. I guess they repeated that, huh? The data consulted during this investigation and summarized in this report originate from non-public data held within the executive branch of the United States government, USG. The author obtained access to this information while perusing or pursuing their lawful duties as an employee of the Department of Defense. This public version of the author's report was reviewed and approved for public release by the Department of State, Bureau of Global Public Affairs. Now, see, that's the only thing I find kind of strange is that it was approved. So I let you know that this is like a slow drip disclosure is what's going on here. But this is no longer a slow drip. This document here, they kind of turned the faucet on full blast, babe. I tell you what, the results of this investigation are deeply disturbing. Elements of the U.S. executive branch have conspired to prevent the U.S. legislative branch from exercising its lawful powers of governance with respect to the UAP, TUO, and NHI issues. The information provided by the author strongly suggests that the U.S. executive branch has been managing UAP NHI issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for some time, quite possibly decades. This criminal conspiracy keeps the elected government of the United States and its citizens ignorant to profound discoveries and dire threats originating from the existence of UAP NHI and their technology. What I find strange is, so the executive branch, that's the president, right? That's what I always thought. But anybody that really studies this subject knows that the majority of presidents weren't briefed on a lot of these things. They were kept in the dark. They were considered temporary employees by a lot of these gatekeepers that held this information, in secret. Immaculate Constellation's primary mission is collecting imagery intelligence on unidentified aerial phenomena and ARV, RV, reproduction vehicles. That's back engineered UFOs, for those of you who don't know. Utilizing tasked and untasked U.S. military intelligence resources as part of a network of SAPs, special access programs, linked to non-human intelligence and UAP technologies. Immaculate Constellation acts as a nexus for collecting, analyzing, and disseminating intelligence on the activities, capabilities, and locations of anomalous aerospace threats that originate from foreign or unidentified sources. So there you guys kind of get the gist of what this is all about right here. Um, the program primarily consists of high quality imagery intelligence, collateral measurement, and signatures intelligence of UAPs and ARVs within Earth's atmosphere. The collection platforms involved are a blend of tasked and untasked capabilities by low Earth orbit, upper atmosphere, military and civilian aviation altitudes, and maritime environments. So some of these were actually filmed from satellites. There's a large number of unique imagery sensors available to the U.S. military and intelligence community, including infrared, forward looking infrared, which is FLIR, full motion video, which is FMV, thermal and still photography. The multitude of wavelengths collected by these sensors have captured UAP characteristics that are difficult or impossible to observe with the human eye alone. CENTCOM, cuboid formation of metallic orbs. This is where it gets good. So on USG networks, there exists daytime FMV and daytime FLIR footage of a formation of 12 metallic orbs skimming the ocean surface at a high speed before dispersing into multiple directions. The rapid and agile maneuvering of the metallic orbs were incompatible with known aerospace vehicles and were between 3 to 6 meters in diameter. In the opening segment of this footage, the 12 metallic orbs flew in a tight cuboid formation. The metallic orbs were in 3 vertical square formations of 4 orbs each, arranged in a 3-pronged configuration, creating the illusion of a cube shape at distance. All the orbs were white hot against the black cold ocean in the FLIR footage, and each sphere created a faint atmospheric distortion, both around itself and as a heat shimmer contrail. The metallic orbs moved in this cube formation over the ocean for some time, before rapidly breaking formation as pairs. The sensor platforms lost track of most of the metallic orbs as they ascended in altitude and accelerated in speed, but maintained observation on a pair of metallic orbs continuing the original trajectory of the larger formation. That's great. And it kind of lends credibility to the orbs that we've been seeing all across the world that people have been filming. You know, how many of you have read this document? You know, I mean, I must be behind. I just read it today, literally. CENTCOM, fast mover observed transiting over sensitive facilities. This is a good one. On USG networks, there exists FLIR footage of a small, medium oval UAP flying at high speed and low to the surface. The footage begins as routine surveillance of a sensitive coastal facility. When the oval UAP rapidly comes into frame as it flies above coastal facilities, the oval UAP then makes a rapid turn towards the ocean where it is tracked by a collection platform. The oval UAP is tracked flying low over the open ocean at high speed before the track is lost. Wow, man. Indo-PACOM. I think that's Indo-Pacific, right? Intelligence vessels positioned to collect a reproduction vehicle on USG networks. There exists infrared footage of and imagery of a grouping of vessels engaged in SIGINT and MASINT intelligence collection at night in a specific area of the Pacific Ocean. In this footage, which was in close proximity to the vessels, a large equilateral triangle UAP suddenly appears directly over the ships. 3 bright points are seen at each bottom corner of the UAP, which is observed to slowly rotate on its horizontal axis. This rotation partially reveals a horizontal bar of sweeping lights. Intelligence analysis associated with this event specifies that the equilateral triangle is a reproduction vehicle and concludes that the vessels must have been aware of the RV's frequent use of those coordinates due to foreign prepositioning of advanced collection assets at the exact time and place. After a brief period of hovering and slowly rotating approximately 500 to 1,000 meters above the ocean, the RV suddenly disappears and the footage ends. So they're speaking about a reproduction vehicle. That's a back-engineered UAP, right? That's back-engineered extraterrestrial technology, right? And is that what that means? Reproduction vehicle? And it's in the same area as when Michael Herrera talked about seeing one of those things in the jungle during a humanitarian mission to the same area, Indonesia, after the tsunami. Indo-PACOM, large dish using clouds as concealment. USG networks, there exists OPIR. That's the overhead photographic infrared. So this was probably taken from a satellite. Footage of a large saucer-shaped UAP emerging from within a dense cloud formation. The saucer registered black hot against the white cold, with atmospheric disturbances caused by the saucer-shaped UAP. The saucer was between 200 and 400 meters in circumference. Man, that's pretty big, dude. 200 and 400 meters? Wow. That's like 1,200 foot. That's a big, that's a big UAP, man. And displayed symmetrical concavities on the upper surface. The saucer-shaped UAP emerges at a shallow angle, traveling upwards towards the outer atmosphere. Wow, it's going up to space. After breaking above the cloud cover, the saucer-shaped UAP suddenly reverses its direction, descending partially back into the cloud cover, then accelerating rapidly out of the frame, partially obscured by the cloud tops. This behavior was evasive in nature and implied that the saucer-shaped UAP had become aware that it was under observation by a space-based collection platform. So yeah, they were filming this from a satellite. Interesting. I mean, this is the meat and potatoes. This is what we've been waiting for. Anybody that's been into this subject, that's been studying this is the document we've been waiting for. This right here. It's breaking it down. And it goes way back too. There's cases in here that date all the way back to, you know, the late 70s. Northcom jellyfish UAP. Let's check this out. U.S. Mexican border. Wow. On USG networks, there exists flare footage of an irregularly shaped UAP flying across the southern border. The UAP appeared in flare to be modeled irregularly with hot cold emissions and approximated a jellyfish or floating brain with hanging appendages in appearance. You know, that reminds me, I don't know if any of you guys ever watched like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You remember the bad guy on that? It was that brain. It was that floating brain. Same thing, dude. It was really weird. And like the brain would get stored in the body's stomach and he controlled the body. You ever watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That's what that reminds me. Like, I mean, what is it? It's just weird. Weird, man. Strange. Strange. Floating brain. I can't even get over that. The UAP flew against the wind with no visible means of propulsion, maintained an unnatural rigidity in its movements and flight path. It maintained a comparatively low altitude to geographic features. In appearance and behavior, footage of this UAP violating the airspace of the southern border resembled the same class of UAPs observed near DoD facilities in Iraq and Afghanistan. There exists at least one compilation video of this class of UAP sourced from DoD Force Protection Assets and Theater ISR, which uses this footage as a point of comparison. You know, that brings me back to the Jeremy Corbell footage of the jellyfish that was flying over Iraq. A lot of people were trying to say it was balloons. Well, apparently, according to this document, it definitely wasn't balloons. Let's see here. Northcom supersonic range Fowler intercepts USN fighter. The USG networks there exists flare footage and radar data of a supersonic UAP of uncertain characteristics conducting a head-on intercept of a USN fighter operating off the eastern seaboard. UAP is observed emerging from cloud bank at high speed and approaching the USN aircraft head-on, rapidly passing over the left side of the cockpit. Radar data from this approach tracks the UAP on its approach towards the craft, providing information on speed, heading, and elevation. Could you imagine being that pilot, though? In that plane, you see this thing flying right at you, ready to just, man, but he had to go check his drawers after that, huh? Man. Southcom Tic Tac detected by space asset in proximity of vessel. So this was another satellite OPIR image, overhead photographic infrared image. Tic Tac UAP transiting through an area of the Atlantic Ocean. The Tic Tac maneuvers at an altitude at or near local cloud cover, and correlated electromagnetic signatures were collected by Massent. In the available footage, the Tic Tac UAP transits rapidly through the field of regard as it transits the ocean. No observed reaction is seen to come from the vessel, but its proximity in time and space to the trajectory of this UAP suggests foreknowledge of the UAP event by intelligence. Very strange, man. But yeah, these are regular organic, irregularly shaped UAPs, shape shifting UAPs. typically having a spherical or disc-like base form from which irregular geometries are seen to project. Floating brain or jellyfish. UAPs are present as well, characterized by a central mass from which multiple arms or spars hang downward. Finally, combined shapes were also observed, including cubes within spheres, ringed saucers, and various rectangular and cuboid forms. Wow, dude. Then we get into the details, the observables, and they get into the speed, signatures, colors, surface detail, behaviors of each one. This, the saucer. Here you got the oval and the tic tac, triangular. And it's just crazy, man. Then there's a close encounter by a CBN flight deck personnel. While on active duty in the Pacific, flight deck personnel working night duty experienced a close encounter with a spherical UAP of medium-large size. On-duty flight deck crew observed a small orange-red sphere maneuvering at high altitude above the CBN. Shortly after first observation, UAP rapidly descended from high altitude to a position directly above the flight deck of the CBN. Height approximately 100 to 200 yards. UAP maintained altitude match speed with the underway CBN for an uncertain period. Observing personnel reportedly altered perceptions of time during the close encounter. So they had lost time. Wow, man, that's crazy. Altered perception of time. Wow. UAPs appeared to emit soft orange-red light, which bizarrely did not illuminate the ocean or the flight deck of the CBN, despite the visual appearance of intense luminosity. The surface of the UAP was observed to be dynamic, roiling like the surface of the sun. It's crazy. I just said that. The UAP took no reported actions during this encounter, only maintaining a close in proximity to the CBN. After an uncertain period, the UAP suddenly shot into the air, disappearing at a point high above the CBN. It's strange. Like a lot of times they'll say, well, if people come into they have these kind of close encounters with a UAP and they experience lost time, it's usually because there's a good chance that they had an encounter, possibly an abduction. Wouldn't it be something if these things could really just take over a whole, like a battleship of soldiers, and just abduct them, and just kind of erase everybody's memories. And this is what the lost time could be. I know it's far fetched, but I mean, if they're able to affect your perception of time, what else are they able? Valid question. Crazy. Metallic orbs intercept F-22. While performing a routine airspace surveillance and control mission in the Eastern Air Defense Sector, an F-22 fighter observed multiple UAP contacts at mission altitude. Moving to intercept, the F-22 pilot noted multiple metallic orbs, slightly smaller than a sedan, hovering in place. Upon vectoring towards UAPs, smaller formation of metallic orbs accelerated at rapid speed towards the F-22. Oh, shit. Which was unable to establish radar locks on the presumed hostile UAPs. I bet. I wouldn't even try. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to try to shoot at one of them things, man. The F-22 broke trajectory in an attempt to evade, but was intercepted and boxed in by approximately 3 to 6 UAPs. Wow, this is crazy. One UAP maneuvered in proximity, 12 meters, to an area directly starboard of the cockpit. There, the UAP established a rigid spatial relationship with the F-22, maintaining its exact position and orientation parallel to the F-22's cockpit, despite multiple evasive rolls and maneuvers. Surrounded by the presumed hostile UAPs, the F-22 was forced out of the mission area under the escort of the UAP formation. So the UAP formation basically bullied this F-22, which is like one of our best jets. That's like one of the best that we have, aside from the F-35. The F-22 is like, it's crazy. That's a crazy one there, man. Perimeter of sensitive facility breached by UAP. At a military airport located on the eastern seaboard, ground personnel reported a lengthy low-altitude intrusion late at night by a small spherical UAP. UAP displayed visual signature management, appearing as a blurry sphere, around which light was distorted or bent. This effect emanated outward from the central sphere, giving the appearance of a heat, haze, or misty volume of distorted light. Ground personnel reported eye strain, headaches, and a feeling of unease and dread while observing the dark sphere. UAP was first observed while slowly crossing the runway, moving in the direction of a sensitive area. Once across, the UAP hovered above the grouping before suddenly disappearing. Ground personnel were uncertain of the length of the encounter. but estimated their observation lasted between 10 and 15 minutes. It's just really, dude. I mean, what more do you want? You know, you have these skeptics out there that are still skeptical. I mean, what more do you want? Like, you know, you got Jake Barber and his team. You got this document. Anybody can go look this document up and read it if you want to. That's pretty much the end. I'll go over this conclusion real quick. So, in conclusion, the official disclosure of the evidence of the existence of non-human intelligences and their presence on Earth is a pivotal moment in human history. The nature of this information is of such incomparable relevance to the public good that it demands to be shared. Some may object and say that disclosure at this time poses too many risks. To them, it must be said that we will never be able to predict how individuals, families, communities, and nations will react to revelations of such magnitude. Moving forward, we must guard against the lure of authoritarian solutions justified by expediency and appeals to national security. The good in humanity will always triumph through time, and it is in moments of crisis that our capacities for achieving the extraordinary are discovered. Be not afraid. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I got to say, I'm impressed. What do you guys think? So there you have it. That is the Immaculate Constellation document. And what is the ramifications of this? What does this mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that they're trying to frame this as a threat. And I don't know why are they so eager to frame this as a threat? When in none of these cases, not one of these cases did a UAP attack a military asset. Only in one case, they escorted the F-22 out of an area. That was but he tried to lock on. He tried to shoot him down. So did they have every right to do that? I don't know. If somebody tries to shoot me, I might escort them out of the area too, if I'm nonviolent. So that there shows you that these things are nonviolent. But we'd be very stupid to try to shoot one of them down. And I think we're getting too big for our britches. We think because we got these ARVs that we can compete. I don't think we can compete. And that's not all, folks. What I'm going to get into next is footage of military, intelligence, and other officials telling you that not only is UAPs real, but non-human intelligence is real, and that they've been here and they've been interacting with humanity for a very, very long time.
Elizondo for his opening statement.
Greetings, Chairwoman Mace, Chairman Grothman, Ranking Members Connolly and Garcia, and members of the committee. It is my honor and privilege to testify before you on the issue of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, formerly known as UFOs. On behalf of our brave men and women in uniform and across the intelligence community, as well as my fellow Americans who have awaited this day, thank you for your leadership on this important matter. Let me be clear, UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. Furthermore, the U.S. is in possession of UAP technologies, as are some of our adversaries. I believe we are in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies. For many years, I was entrusted with protecting some of our nation's most sensitive programs. In my last position, I managed a special access program on behalf of the White House and the National Security Council. As such, I appreciate the need to protect certain sensitive intelligence and military information. I consider my oath to protect secrets as sacred, and I will always put the safety of the American people first. With that said, I also understand the consequences of excessive secrecy and stovepiping. Nowhere was this more apparent than in the aftermath of 9/11, which many of us remember all too well. I believe that America's greatness depends on three elements. A watchful Congress, B, a responsive executive branch, and C, an informed public. Over the last decade and a half, I learned that certain UAP programs were and are operating without any of these elements. Although much of my government work on the UAP subject still remains classified, Excessive secrecy has led to grave misdeeds against loyal civil servants, military personnel, and the public, all to hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos. A small cadre within our own government involved in the UAP topic has created a culture of suppression and intimidation that I've personally been victim to, along with many of my former colleagues. This includes unwarranted criminal investigations, harassment, and efforts to destroy one's credibility. Most Americans would be shocked to learn that the Pentagon's very own Public Affairs Office openly employs a professional psychological operations officer as the singular point of contact for any UAP-related inquiries from citizens and the media. This is unacceptable. Many of my former colleagues and I have provided classified testimony to both the Department of Defense and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, and many of us have subsequently been targeted by this cabal with threats to our careers, our security clearances, and even our lives. This is not hyperbole, but a genuine fact, and this is wrong. To fix
it could be more effective. And my last assignment was involved with the UAP task force, which maybe is the most apropos for this discussion.
And so, Karl, here's the million-dollar question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So, non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And
I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue, and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grusch. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force, UAPTF, and eventually, once it was established, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs. My testimony is based on information I've been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country, many of whom also have shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony to myself and my various colleagues. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years while I was with the UAP task force and do my due diligence on the individual sharing it. This is because of these steps, I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I am driven by a commitment of both to truth and transparency, rooted in our inherent duty to uphold the United States Constitution and protect the American people. I'm asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims. But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts as I've been told them. In the U.S. Air Force, in my National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, reservist capacity, I was a member of the UAP Task Force from 2019 to 2021. I served at the NRO Operations Center on the Director's briefing staff, which included the coordination of the Presidential Daily Brief and supporting a variety of contingency operations, which I was the Reserve Intelligence Division Chief backup. In 2019, the UAP Task Force Director asked me to identify all special access programs and controlled access programs, also known as SAPs and CAPs, we needed to satisfy our congressionally mandated mission, and we were direct report at the time to the DepSecDef. At the time, due to my extensive executive level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision, based on the data I collected, to report this information to my superiors and multiple inspectors general, and in effect becoming a whistleblower. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer your question.
So, there you have it. What do you guys think? I'm going to tell you what I think. So, based on what we've heard, based on what we've read today, what we've learned is there is a cabal, secret cabal, who answers to nobody, who siphons off mass amounts of taxpayer money to fund their special access programs, SAPs and CAPs, like Lou said. Was it David Grusch who said that? Doesn't matter. They answer to nobody. They take our money. We don't even know what they do with it. They don't have to tell anybody what they do with it. That should be what we really focus on. The UAP thing, the non-human intelligence thing, we're past that. They're here. They exist. I don't think they're a threat. They're pushing it as it's a threat. I don't think so. I think the threat is this secret, deep, dark corner of the government that's taking our money and answers to nobody. Thank you for watching. This is John C's Truth. Please hit the like and subscribe if you like the show. Tomorrow, it's going to get even deeper. We're going to be talking about the Collins Elite. What if I told you that there is a secret group inside the government who also is trying to control the narrative because of their religious slant, their religious views? They want to label these things as all demonic. That's tomorrow's episode. So tune in. I'll be back tomorrow. I love you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe. I need your help. This is John C's Truth. I'm out.